One of the biggest reasons why people don't get the results that they really want has nothing to do with the strategy or the actions that they're taking. So many times it really comes down to mindset. Now, I know that mindset can be kind of this floaty word where it's like, oh, I just tell myself this thing and then this thing happens, or I just convince myself that I'm something I'm not. And that's not at all what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that we often have these beliefs that we've bought into so fully and so completely that we don't even realize that they show up in our work, in our life, and they really take charge and influence how we make decisions. Because when we are constantly making decisions about business and life things based on these beliefs that aren't actually true, then that really gets in the way of us being able to make the right decisions for us. And it gets in the way of us being able to show up and serve people the way that we really want to because we're not fully present. I call these your ball and chain mindset beliefs. And every person has one. So like don't feel bad. Like I have one. Everybody who's listening to this has one. But I thought I would share what mine is and show you like the different ways that it shows up because sometimes it's so subtle. But the thing is that once you know what yours is, you can quickly go, oh, okay, that's why I'm feeling that way. And then you can choose differently. And it's those different choices that are really going to get you that momentum that you're looking for. So mine is not feeling enough. And this really surprised me. Like a couple of years ago, I guess, it kind of popped up and I realized that's what it was because I always thought that it was something different. And I thought, oh, like a person who doesn't think that they're worthy enough, they probably do A, B, C, D. I don't do any of those kind of things. Like my dad treated me like a princess and, always felt like I was good enough and smart enough to have a seat at the table. But that's not exactly true. So even if you feel like something maybe is not yours, like we're going to talk about a few questions to ask yourself towards the end to kind of figure out what yours might be. But, you can also ask people that know you. They've probably noticed this and seen this come up and they know, and they also love you. And so, it might feel good hearing it from somebody who definitely has your best interest at heart. So this idea of like not being good enough, the way that I really showed it come and play out was that I always felt like I had to prove myself. I had to work so much harder. And it was in the hard work that I earned it, right? So it was a whole thing about deserving. So if it comes really easy to me, then I haven't really earned it. I didn't deserve it. Like this idea that there like has to be a struggle involved in this to really make it pay off. Like it's supposed, they call it hard work. Like it's not just work. It's always hard work. It's supposed to be hard. Like you really have to struggle and deserve it. Um, and then some like ways that would show up, they surprised me and caught me off guard. But like once I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. And now I can see it and kind of, like I said, choose again, choose differently. So one of those ways was I was getting ready to do a giveaway and it was attached to an offer. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give, 3 of these away for free. And my coach was like, why three? And I said, well, because I don't know, three just sounds like a good number. And she said, or is it because you don't think you're good enough? And I was like, ooh, it felt like a punch to the gut. And I thought, wow, I thought I was done with this. But like I said, it's a ball and chain. It's like it's always there. And noticing that and then really thinking about it, like, why was I doing that? Why was it three? Um, and recognizing that there was some little bit of feeling in there that felt bad about asking people to buy, like I hadn't given enough. And so I felt like I was like kind of not wanting to even pitch anything. And so then I was just like, well, I'll give away 3 of these to try to make myself feel better. And I see my clients do this a lot too, where they're like giving and giving and giving. And yes, you should give value, but like you're a business, you're also, it's not wrong to ask for something in return. And instead, all they're doing is training people, but they're never going to have to pay for anything. And that is bad. And you may even get some like, if you've been doing this, you may even have people voice that. So I have one client and they've had this Facebook group for a long time, like 2 years or something, where they just give away tons and tons and tons of content and advice and show up in person and like a lot, right? And so as they've really decided to monetize this and create a business and a paid membership and all this kind of stuff and have, things that people can purchase, they've had a couple of people be, I can't believe you're charging for this. And, a year ago, they probably would have felt bad and been like, okay, just take it for free. But now they feel so much more confident and they feel so deserving of it that they're like, okay, well, if I'm sorry that you feel that way, like, sorry. But they really trained, to some degree, they train people to not expect to buy anything. And so now I think that's also part of why they're not getting more sales right off the bat, because people are like, oh, I didn't realize that you had something to sell, right? And so we kind of have to train people what to expect. Another good example of this sort of training and value is I think about my favorite store, Anthropologie. You probably heard me talk about it. And, I used to be a user interface designer for them. So I like love Anthropologie. But anyway, as the economy has gotten slower, they of course are trying to adapt and try to get more sales and make sure that they, are selling things and stuff like that. So of course they're going to have sales. But what they used to do is have a sale twice a year where it would be 40% off of everything. And I would be so excited about this. Like, I would save my money up. I knew exactly when it was. I would go and I'd be so excited about getting some cute new things to put in my closet. But now they have a 40% off sale like every few weeks, which, is great for the consumer who loves Anthropologie. But it has also trained people that they don't have to pay full price. Like, why would you go in there and spend $100 on a t-shirt when you can wait and get it for $20? So that's just something to consider. And also is a good example of my point about how when you're making better decisions, not by not being attached to your ball and chain mindset issue, that they're going to be more profitable for your business. Because if you're constantly afraid to show up and sell, and so you're like, well, that doesn't feel that great. I don't really feel like I'm have earned the right to sell, so I'm just going to keep giving value. Then you can see how, of course, if you don't ever sell, like, you're obviously not going to ever get paid, but you're also like training your audience that you're not selling anything. And so it can really have like a long-term trickle down effect that is not beneficial for you and the business that you really want to have. And so knowing when these things come up, it can be really helpful for you to make decisions that are really more beneficial for you and your business. And as I shared, mine was not feeling worthy. And so when I'm questioning myself, like, golly, I really do have to make things hard. And I do that a lot in life too, like make things hard. But realizing that I make things hard so that I can feel like I deserve it was life changing and a little mind blowing. And also let me know exactly the kind of inner work that I had to do to have, a better outside life that I really wanted. And so I hope that that is helpful for you, just to kind of see like an example of how that might show up. And I think that not being worthy is a big one for women, especially. And so now I'm going to tell you a few ways that you can use questions as prompts to kind of dig into while you're doing something. So always first, it's great to do just a gut check. Like, how does this feel? If this doesn't feel like a hell yeah, and you feel a little bit of reservation about something, stop and take the time to really think, why do I feel this way? So with that example of giving the 3 away for free, or, let's say that you're getting ready to pitch anything and you're kind of having that reservation of like, I don't know, maybe I should just do like one more week, or maybe I should do one more freebie, or, oh gosh, inside of your launch series when you're like, well, for the, I want people to go ahead and pay. Maybe I should just give them one more thing for free, right? But that like adding on of content and value because you're scared that it's like not enough. Really dig into that and see what it is that's making you feel that way. And when you can kind of pinpoint that feeling like, well, I don't feel like anybody's going to buy from me, ask yourself the questions. Why do I feel this way? And as you're getting deeper, when was the first time I remember feeling this way? And when was the last time that I remember feeling this way? So if you're feeling like I don't deserve for people to buy from me, ask yourself, like, when was the last time that you really felt like you didn't deserve? And you can also do the opposite. When was a time where you felt like you really were deserving, and what made that different? What was different about the last time that you felt like, yes, people should buy from me? You know, you really want to dig into it and see what is that underlying issue that just kind of shows up for you all the time. So if you would love to talk more about this, you know, I would love to have this conversation about what you might think that your mindset issue is. Um, that's another example of like working with a coach, why those things can be so powerful, because I'm telling you, like, just noticing it in that one instance was huge for me to see how that showed up in business that I just didn't even see. Like, I didn't see that. You know, a lot of times we feel like, oh, we know exactly the game we're playing with ourselves, but a lot of times they show up in ways that are just really unexpected. And that's just a good example too of what having that one-on-one support, like why that can be so powerful inside of your business. So if you guys are having some mindset issues that are holding you back, or you're not sure what they are, you know, I'd love to chat more with you about that.